guys, it's me, Halloween Dan. And while the rest of the world is getting hyped for Transworld, which is taking place in the next few days, there are so many things to look forward to, so many things there are going to be to talk about. But while that's happening, and I'm clearly not there, I thought I'd talk about some awesome props that will probably be making their way to Transworld. So let's do this. So yes, Transworld is not far away. It's a very exciting time for anyone in the Haunted community. There's going to be so much to look at, so many cool things to have a little wish list around. To be honest with you, let's face it, most of the stuff that's going to be at Transworld is way out of most of our budget. But still, it's still really cool to see this stuff, and I enjoy looking at it. Which brings me on to the two firms we're going to be talking about today. The first firm whose props I want to have a little look at is a firm I've never really spoken about on my channel before, but I have admired from afar for a very long time, and that is BEASTCRAFT. Over the last few weeks, they've been dropping some pretty awesome looking props, some things that are right up my alley anyway, so I thought I'd have a quick look at those. And also, we're going to have a little look at a couple of things that have been leaked from Scare Factory. Now, I know Scare Factory are definitely going to Transworld this year. I'm not actually 100% certain about BEASTCRAFT, but I'm guessing they're both going to be there. Let me know in the comments. But like I say, we start with BEASTCRAFT, and the first prop I wanted to have a little talk about with you guys is a prop that seems to have been named after me. Dapper Dan. I always like to think I'm quite dapper. He's got my hairline too. Dapper Dan is a pretty cool looking prop. He is literally a kind of zombified skeleton guy. He's still got a little bit of skin hanging over his corpse. It's a kind of an off bluey kind of colour of skin, so it's rotted flesh, but it's got that kind of haunted mansion look about it. A lot of people have sort of spoken about how this has got serious haunted mansion vibes. The outfit is really, really cool. It almost looks like this is why he's called Dapper, right? Because it's a very dapper looking outfit. It's very cool, kind of Victorian-esque outfit. Something you'd expect to see on the Victorian streets of London. Really, really cool. Almost like a groom's outfit in some ways. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from it. I love the wispy strands of hair that he's got just clinging to the skull. Every time he moves the hat, the hair kind of blows around in the wind. It's a really creepy looking prop. I really, really like it. As simple a movement as it is, and it doesn't have any audio, this thing is killing it. Literally. Then we've got the Talking Reaper. Now, the Talking Reaper is right up my alley. Again, I love a Reaper prop. This is a sensational looking Reaper prop. It's really, really, the outfit is kind of weather battered and worn. The cloth that's been used for the actual Reaper's cloak is really kind of matted and ripped and torn. He's got some really creepy Reaper phrases. This is not your family-friendly Reaper. This guy's talking about the death of death and all this kind of stuff. The overall look is a terrifying one. The skull itself looks almost like a piece of old wood, the skull. It's kind of battered and broken. He looks like he's an ancient skeleton. He's got a kind of a flicker flame effect in the chest, which is really cool. I love a flicker flame effect in props in general. I think it adds a really cool effect. I think the flame effect also spreads into the head a little because you can just see it through the mouth and through the eyes a little bit. So that's really, really cool. This guy would be seriously ominous and scary in anybody's haunt.
And with strange eons, even death.
Then we've got a prop that is simply called Rook, and as the prop suggests, it's a rook. It's a big, spooky bird guy Again, you've got the flicker flame effect that's in the chest and in the eyes. I think it's in the lantern he's holding too. It's a very similar build to the Reaper, except the actual cloak that he's wearing has got some black downy feathers on it, and it's kind of just obviously trying to look like a spooky, creepy rook. This is really creepy on a whole other level. This isn't just a Reaper prop. This is a creepy creature kind of a prop. I think this would go down really well. This guy also has some creepy audio lines that are kind of cool, but I think the overall look of this guy is the winning part of this prop, in honesty.
I have haunted the tombs of the ages.
My least favourite, only because I don't really have a place for it, is the Asylum Thrasher. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a guy who clearly looks like some sort of mental patient in an asylum. He's got the straitjacket on. He's thrashing violently about, chained to the floor. The chains are rattling. He's got no audio with this. It's just the movement is creepy. It does look very realistic, I'm going to say. The face mold on this guy beneath the mask, he really does look like, if you didn't know, you could possibly think that was a scare actor. It is very, very realistic looking. But because I'm not really into these sort of mental asylum kind of look, maybe doesn't go with my theme, and so therefore is my least favourite. But still really cool. I think my favourite, though, of this range of props that have been leaked is the Decomposer, which is a clever name in its own right, because this guy is a little Reaper-esque kind of prop playing the violin. So it's a composer, play on the word composer. Okay. Really, really cool. This is next level creepy. I think put that in a graveyard, sat on a tombstone or something, this guy would really spookify the place up. He's got just everything I like about a prop. It's really kind of subtle. The movement is subtle. It's a creepy looking prop. I love the addition of the violin. The violin doesn't look like some cheap plastic violin. It looks like a real, proper wooden violin. It all looks so well put together. The movement is cool. I know I was talking about the fiddler skeletons that come from Costco in my last video and how maybe they've had their day, but this is on another level. This has got a darker vibe. The music the guy's playing is an old classical piece of music. There's nothing about this that's cheap or generic. It looks really well made, really well thought through, and it's really, really creepy, and I like it. And lastly, we've got the Coughing Mummy, which is a random prop. I'm not going to lie. I like the look of this. I really, really do. It's a really creepy mummy. I love the mummy. We all know this. The movement is creepy. I love the swaying arms. It's like the arms are kind of slightly detached. The only thing I don't get about it is the coughing. It does this coughing and it just sounds as though it's been smoking 40 cigarettes a day for the last 40 years. It's got a bad wheezy kind of smoker's cough, and it shrugs its shoulders as it coughs. That's a really cool movement, a really cool idea, but I'm not 100% sure it works with a mummy. I'm not 100% sold on it. It's very, very cool though, and as a mummy prop in general, awesome. I have to say, I really like this mummy prop. Overall, what BEASTCRAFT have brought out this year is phenomenal. I think they always do such a good job, and their props they're subtle. There's subtlety to these props. They are not in your face. They're not violently shaking. All right, some of them are, but most of them, especially these I've just talked about, they're kind of doing very subtle movements, but they're just enough to be really creepy. Like that Dapper Dan. If he was stood in a big graveyard scene, just slowly tilting his hat and that slow movement of the head, tell me that's not creepy. That would be so creepy. It almost doesn't need any audio. This is what I mean. Sometimes there can be too much audio, too many lights, too much going on. All this guy would need is a light to light him up at night, stood amongst a load of creepy tombstones, and you have got a very, very creepy prop. But all of these props are awesome in their own way. I particularly like the Decomposer. I love that name alone. The name is so clever. But also, they just sat there fiddling away like death fiddling away in a graveyard. Really, really cool concept. I really, really like it. But now we move on to props from Scare Factory, another firm that I have never really concentrated on or made many videos about in the past. And I don't really know why, because their stuff is phenomenal. The first thing I wanted to show of theirs is this incredible zombie head they've got popping through a window. Now, the video is just a demo. It was a demo for themselves, really. I think they were just trying it out. So the audio maybe isn't exactly what it should be, nor is the action 100% what it should be. And I think this is something they're going to be showing at Transworld. So you lucky few who are going to Transworld, look out for this guy. Because how awesome is this zombie head? This is so, so cool. It's popping through that window. It is massive and grotesque. It is just a really gross looking prop. And I think, can you imagine that in a haunt? That would scare the hell out of so many people. Then we've got this group of pumpkin witches. Now, they've been called Pumpkin Witches and the Gourd Trio by a few different people within the community. And I think they're so, so cool. I love a witch and I love a pumpkin. These are so, so cool. I love the way they're interplaying with each other. I love the way the mouth moves. It doesn't look like an animatronic with these. It actually looks like they've got real physical mouths that are moving and talking. Such a cool concept. So well thought out and so well planned. I love the way they're lit as well. They just look really cool. Two of them have got green lights in the mouth. The one in the middle has got an orange light. Imagine that around a cauldron scene. It would be so cool, right? And these things are like 10 foot high, so absolutely epic. But without a doubt, the winner of this story, the absolute pinnacle of what haunters, I think most haunters dream prop, in that it is so astoundingly massive, but so out of reach for nearly every single one of us. And that is the Mutant Pumpkin Monster, or sometimes called the Mutant Pumpkin Mantis Monster. Bit of a mouthful, but this thing is absolutely astounding and way beyond what most of us would ever be able to afford or actually fit into our haunts. But my God, look at this thing. I mean, it's terrifying. It's obviously based upon a pumpkin. You've got vines and things coming off it. It raises up into the air. 15 foot this thing is. It's absolutely colossal in every single way. And as it raises up into the air, it starts to flail these tentacles around, which kind of have a mantis style, like bug look to them. They're clearly supposed to be the vines of a pumpkin. The whole thing is mutated and huge and gross. It's got this massive mouth with these huge spiked teeth. The mouth is glowing green inside. There's pumpkins around the bottom of it. There's pumpkins with red eyes glowing on its shoulders. This thing is absolutely phenomenal, and it's roaring and moving. Everything's moving. It's turning its head. Can you imagine? Can you imagine owning something like this? It would scare the hell out of pretty much everyone. If I brought this home, I think I'd have to leave. I think people would be so terrified by this thing. I think here in the UK, that would just absolutely blow people's minds. Clearly, it's not going to happen, because clearly I could never afford to buy something like this. But still, the dream is real. The dream is real. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I just wanted to run through those props because they're so cool. They're so cool. And I cannot wait to see all the footage of all the really awesome things coming out of Transworld this year. It's so much fun when this time of year comes around. It really starts to feel like, yes, now we're in it. Now we're there. The Halloween season has begun. So strap in, guys, because it's gonna get a little bit spooky. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Keep it spooky. Bye.